This is the Cholo News Report for Friday 23 November 2018. The Leaning Tower of Pisa surveillance group reports the structure is leaning less, by 4 centimeters. Nunzio Squeglia, a professor of geotechnics at the University of Pisa, who works with the surveillance team, added what counts the most is the stability of the bell tower, which is better than expected. Back in 1990, the tourist favorite was closed to the public for the first time in 800 years amid fears it could be on the verge of toppling. Denmark suspends future weapons export licenses to Saudi Arabia, in response to the killing of Jamal Khashoggi, and the Saudi Arabian-led intervention in Yemen. It heads a military coalition fighting in a civil war in Yemen, in which tens of thousands of people have died, and caused a major humanitarian catastrophe. Denmark issued 10 such approvals last year, according to the ministry. President of the European Council Donald Tusk says, there is agreement in principle, on a political deal that can be endorsed at an EU summit. The negotiations are now at a critical moment, she told UK Parliament, adding that British sovereignty on Gibraltar, a contentious issue, ahead of the summit would be protected. However, MPs have warned Mrs May that they will vote down her deal in the crucial House of Commons debate, which is expected early next month. Former Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson urged her to junk her backstop plan for keeping the Irish border open, which he said makes a nonsense of Brexit. An Israeli-American man, Michael Ron David Kader, is sentenced to 10 years in prison in Israel, for making 2,000 hoax bomb threats that forced evacuations of Jewish community centers in the United States. The threats, made by phone and email in 2016 and 2017, raised concern that anti-Semitism was on the rise in the United States. But the Tel Aviv District Court that convicted him in June said he was fit to stand trial after it weighed medical opinions. The man, who has not been named in the proceedings in Israel, due his status as a minor, when the offenses took place, has been identified as Michael Kader, in separate indictments in the United States for alleged hate crimes. The court in Tel Aviv had convicted Kader of counts that included extortion, disseminating hoaxes in order to spread panic, money laundering and computer hacking over bomb and shooting threats against community centers, schools, shopping malls, police stations, airlines and airports in North America, Britain, Australia, New Zealand, Norway and Denmark. Lee Jae-ok, a South Korean pastor and leader of Manman Central Church, is sentenced to 15 years in prison over 42 counts of sexual harassment and sexual assault against 8 of his followers. According to the Seoul Central District Court, the victims could not resist his advances, due to their absolute faith in the infallibility of the accused. Lee's victims had been members of his church since birth or childhood, the document said.